What's up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you. It's Monday evening. I want to do a recap of my picks against the spread for week number 11. Before I get into that, a little bit of current events I got to get y'all caught up on. I'm sure you already know about it if you're a Gamecock fan, or if you follow college football. If you're a Tater, I'm sure you definitely know about it because all y'all do is sniff our nuts as far as news goes. But anyway, lockdown cornerback J.C. Horn has decided to opt out for the rest of the 2020 season to get ready for the 2021 NFL draft. JC was a junior. Really good player, solid player. Pro Football Focus rates him one of the best cornerbacks in the country. He only had 2 picks this year. Reason being is that they never throw the ball to his side of the field because they know that he will pick you off if you throw to him or you throw on his side of the field. Hadn't had a good past couple of games, though, as has the entire defense. Has looked like a big mound of shit. And this ultimately probably was the nail in the coffin factor that led to the dismissal of Will Muschamp yesterday. And on that note, I'm not here to dance on the grave of Muschamp anymore. Look, he's gone. And I got to say that I know that in the past probably 2 years, I've been pretty hard on him, said some pretty disparaging things at times. But all I want to do is win. I just want to see the team do well and win football games. And every time that I made one of those rants on Muschamp, I always made sure to let you guys know that I have nothing personal against the man. I'm sure he's a nice guy. A lot of people was coming out, different stories about what Muschamp did for them, and not necessarily football players, just people that around the football program, people at the university. Case in point one was a chick that was an intern down there, and she wanted, a job working for an NFL team, and Muschamp went out of his way to write a letter of recommendation for her to the Indianapolis Colts, and she got the job. Just stuff like that, stuff that he's done. Former Gamecock tight end Hayden Hurst, who plays for the Atlanta Falcons now. Don't know it or not, he tried to commit suicide back in 2016. He told the story yesterday of how Muschamp tried for like a week in a row to get up to his hospital room to come up there to check on him, knowing that he could not have visitors, and he just kept on and on and on. Stuff like that. And I'm sure it means a lot to him. They think the world of the guy. And personally, I have nothing against him. I don't. But he just was an abysmal football coach, head football coach. On Saturdays, he sucked. Okay, the in-game coaching was horrible. There was no adjustments made. It just got worse and worse, and things got worse and worse. But I do wish him luck in the future. I hope he gets things turned around, and he definitely has a passion, love for the game of football, and he'll land on his feet somewhere doing something. I feel like he'll be fine. If not, he's got a nice little lump of cash to settle back on. So there's that. So done with Muschamp. He will. I'll probably never really speak of him again, unless it comes up for some reason. Anyway, the J.C. Horn thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm from the old school. If you all will remember a few years ago when Deebo Samuel opted out of the bowl game against Virginia, which the Gamecocks lost the Belt Bowl. That was 2 seasons ago. I was pissed. I was freaking uber pissed about him laying out of that bowl game and sitting on the sidelines watching his team get their face kicked in. Today is kind of, I'm just looking at this one a little bit differently. Now, JC leaving the team with 3 games remaining. If I were in his shoes, this is probably not something I would do. But at the same time, I don't blame him for doing it, and I can understand why he did it. Okay, dude's been there almost 3 years. Okay, he's a potential first rounder, late first rounder, the way they have him in the mock draft. I mean, he doesn't need to do anything else. Last couple of games have been pretty rough for him, as they have for the whole defense. But that doesn't tarnish, what he's done down there. He's had 2 interceptions this year, only 2. Reason why his interception numbers are so low is because they never throw to his side of the field, because they know he will pick that thing off. They know they're not completing passes over there. So they pick on the other side of the field. That's why he doesn't have the eye-popping numbers that you'd think that a potential NFL first-rounder would have. There's more to it than just intercepting the football. I don't think he's had any other interceptions in his career, to be honest with you. Maybe one other pick last year. At any rate, he's gone. And I really have a problem with a lot of these Gamecock fans on Gamecock Twitter, Gamecock Facebook, just all over the place. They are just taking a huge shit on a kid who has done nothing but ball out for 3 damn years. And I think it's just wrong. It just is. You quitter, you quit on your team in the middle of the season. The NFL ain't going to want you. You're a quitter. Really? Come on. You know what you're going to be doing next year when he's playing on Sundays? You're going to be pulling for him. Or you going, if he gets drafted by the fucking Cleveland Browns, you're going to go out and buy yourself some damn Cleveland Browns swag. Yeah, I know what y'all are going to do. Don't sit here and trash this young man for a decision he made. The season is shot. It's done. It is over with. It's done. He probably doesn't want to have to sit here and listen to new pregame speeches by a new interim head coach, which I'm sure he knows Bobo, but he probably don't have that much interaction with him. To be honest with you, his plan, a new regiment by this guy for 3 damn games. He just don't want to deal with it. I can't honestly say that I blame him, but once again, it's probably not something I would do. I would probably finish the season out anyway, just because I'm just geared that way. But, it's a new day. I was very, very pissed at Samuel 2 years ago for laying out of that bowl game against Virginia. I was pissed. I was really pissed. And I got a lot of pushback on being pissed off. But to me, that was different. That was a bowl game. That was an actual one-game situation that he laid out of, in which I feel like, and a lot of other people feel like, he would have made a huge difference. I feel like we could have won that game had he played. He was that big of a factor. He was that big of a factor that season. So, yeah, that's what I was pissed off about that one for. And especially the fact that he actually stood on the sidelines and watched. It's to me, it's 2 different situations. But, people tweeting at this guy, just get over it. It's not like we were in the mix for an SEC championship right now, and he just all of a sudden just up and quits. Things are bad right now. Things are bad. And they're bound to get worse. They're bound to get worse. We're going to have some decommitments. We just are. We're probably going to have a few more players opt out before it's over with. And it's more than likely that we will finish 2-8. It's more than likely we will not win another game this season. The game that's coming up this Saturday night affords us our best chance of winning. So if I were you, I would get off my damn high horse. I would turn that TV on and, support the team. I told y'all that I wasn't supporting him anymore as long as he was still the head coach. I was done with that. I was done. Okay? Not the head coach anymore. It's a new day, and we need to move on forward, and let's do that. If anybody else decides that they want to quit, if they want to leave the team, just let them do it. Let them go. Let them do their thing, man. Let them do their thing, because honestly, you telling them that they're a quitter on Twitter is not going to it's not going to hurt their feelings one bit, okay? I can promise you that. Anyway, let's move on to a recap of Jackpot's picks against the spread for week number 11, shall we? All right. Going into week 11, Jackpot had a record of 83, 84, and 2 against the spread. How do we do this week? Do we drop even further below 500? Get back up over 500? Do we just break even? Let's see what we're at. You know we had some games canceled on here too, right? And we'll get to those when we get to them. All right, going back to last Friday night, Iowa on the road at Minnesota. I had Minnesota covering. They did not cover. They lost 35-7. Boy, I don't know what happened to them. They had a good offense, or so I thought. Their defense was abysmal. In this game, their defense was abysmal, and the offense just was a no-show. Very disappointing there. East Carolina at Cincinnati. Cincy was a 27.5-point favorite, and they covered. They won 55-17 over East Carolina. If any of y'all watched that game, Cincinnati just looks good. I mean, they just look like they're out there having fun. They look like they're out there having fun. And they were up 41-17, I believe it was, or 41-10 maybe, in the fourth quarter, and they faked the punt on their own side of the 50-yard line, and that drew a little bit of piss and vinegar from Mike Houston, the East Carolina head coach. He had some words for Luke Fickell after that game. Not really sure what all it was about. I think there was something that happened last year in their game that Cincinnati kind of got pissed off. But then Cincinnati, the last touchdown they scored, I don't think they really meant to score it. The kid just broke free. I mean, he broke free like a 90-yard touchdown run. Insane. But they win big time. They are rolling. Vandy at Kentucky. I had Vandy covering that big spread, and they not only covered, they came within an onside kick recovery of possibly being able to pull the upset there against Kentucky. Vanderbilt's improved the last two games. They really have. Started in the second half of the Ole Miss game. They actually started putting some points on the board, and they got a little confidence going there. Their quarterback's playing better. So Vanderbilt still without a win, but inching ever closer to doing so. Middle Tennessee at Marshall. Marshall does cover that there. They win 42-14. Of course, that was the 50th anniversary of the plane crash where 75 players and boosters were killed back in 1970. I think I said the 40th anniversary. I gave out one pick last week that was a lock. If I had another lock to give, it would have been this game. And they did cover there. So good win for Marshall. Miami at Virginia Tech. Of course, Miami wins this game 25-24 after Virginia Tech led almost the entire way. And they cover that game. So disappointing on that one. Coastal at Troy was not played. Coastal was scared to play them. Don't blame them. Army at Tulane. Tulane was a 4-point favorite at home, and they won that game 38-12. So good win there for the Green Wave over a solid Army team. Come in 6-1. They just hadn't played anybody. They just hadn't had any competition, and it showed in that game. I was kidding, Coastal Carolina fans. I know you weren't scared to play Troy. I know Troy had some COVID issues. Don't get all panties in a tangle. Wake Forest at UNC. It was a 13-point favorite. UNC did not cover there. They won 59-53. What a game. Wake Forest was up by like 20, and then UNC comes all the way back, and that one was just really exciting. And a lot of points going up on the board there. Indiana at Michigan State. Indiana was laying 7 against the Sparty, and they win it 24-0. So good win there for the Hoosiers. They are rolling. Just rolling right along. All right. Penn State at Nebraska. Let me start to get into some stuff here. Nebraska won that game 30-23. Penn State is 0-4. Wow. Illinois and Rutgers. Illinois wins at 23-20 over Rutgers. They came from behind and got the win there. So that's kind of disappointing. Georgia State at App State, 16-point underdog. App State wins 17-13. So Georgia State covered the number there, and they led for a lot of that game as well. Led for a lot of it. Louisville at Virginia. Virginia was 3.5-point favorite. They do cover. They win that game 31-17 over Louisville. Good win there for Bronco Mendenhall and crew. South Florida and Houston. Houston wins, blows them out 56-21. Jackpot wrong on that one. Notre Dame, Boston College. Jackpot wrong here again. Also 45-31. Notre Dame wins. So they covered that little thing by the little half point. Got the little hook in there. So they get it. Colorado and Stanford. Colorado did cover this one. Here they win on the road in Palo Alto. 35-32 over Stanford. Northwestern and Purdue. Purdue was catching 2 at home against Northwestern, and they did not cover. They lost this game 27-20. Arkansas on the road at Florida. Or 17-point underdogs, Arkansas was, and they did not cover. They won or lost 63-35 to the Gators. Looking at this one here, that game was canceled. UCLA and Utah. Florida State at NC State. I gave this one out as my lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels pick of the week. And it was NC State wins this game 38-22 against FSU. Actually, should have been worse. It was 35-9 at one point there, and FSU made a mild comeback in the fourth quarter, but too little, too late. NC State wins there. Of course, South Carolina, Ole Miss. Ole Miss does cover that 11-point spread. They won 59-42 against the team without a head coach for right now. Wisconsin on the road at Michigan. Michigan wins or loses this ball game to Wisconsin 49-11. 49-11. Wisconsin wins, and that's just huge. Graham Mertz, 12-22 in this game, 127 yards. He looked human, but still, they destroyed them. They only had like 1 incompletion in the other game he played against Illinois. Quarterback didn't play for Michigan in this game. The other kid that had been playing. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but they got torched. Oregon State at Washington. I had picked the Beeve to cover the spread, and the Beeve did cover the spread. They lose 27-21 to the Huskies on the road there in the Degenerate Special. So finishing up the slate with a win against the spread. So let's see where that brings Carolina Jackpot at to date. Let's see here. We are, that is 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 6, 7-5. That's 7-7, 8-7. That's 8-8, 8-9. 9-9, 9-10, 10-10, 11-10. So 11-10 there against the spread for week number 11. Double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, yep. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, I'm sorry. So 11 and 10. 11 and 10 against the number there. 2, that is 94. Wow. Through that many games, 94, 94, and 2 pushes. Right at 50%. Right at 50%, just a tad over 50% this week. So not a terrible week, not a great week, but just an okay. Of course, we can't do any one of these without my 3 superlatives. The boy you should have known better pick of the week. I would have to go with me taking Minnesota to cover the number. I basically only took them to cover this number because they were a primetime home underdog on a Friday night. And sometimes that has value, but sometimes it doesn't. It only has value sometimes. You got to read between the lines tonight and figure out a little something about these teams. Minnesota's defense is horrible. They are horrid. I mean, case in point, they were ahead of Maryland a couple of Friday nights ago on the road by like 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and they ended up losing that game in overtime. So Iowa's a pretty solid team. They're not going to wow you with a lot of stuff, but not going to be flashy or anything like that. But they can move the football when they have to, and I should have probably known better on that pick. So that will be my boy. You should have known better pick of the week. The you sure nailed it pick of the week. I gotta go here. Gotta go with Georgia State covering against App State. They were 17-point dogs. They not only covered, they almost won the ball game. And a lot of people were all over App State in that one. So that definitely gets my choice as you nailed it pick of the week. The turd of the week. The turd of the week, well, there's a couple of candidates here. My Gamecocks have already been beat up enough. I'm not going to give them the turd of the week award. But the turd of the week is probably going to have to go to Arkansas. A lot of people were betting on you, to cover against Florida. They thought Florida might come out a little bit flat, come out just a little bit with a nonchalant attitude, maybe after beating Georgia and effectively winning the SEC East and punching their ticket to Atlanta. And they were also without Kyle Pitts, who sustained a concussion against Georgia. So a lot of people thought that the offense wouldn't be quite as effective. Kyle Trask wouldn't have that target. That didn't matter. Y'all absolutely got mollywopped and boat raced, whatever Uncle Lou's term is. That's his term, mollywopped. Also, Michigan gets Turd of the Week award too. You should not be losing by 38 points at home to anybody. You just shouldn't. I mean, you're freaking Michigan, for God's sake. And Wisconsin just laid it on your ass, and they hadn't even played a game in 3 weeks. What are you doing? They are in bad shape there. They are definitely in bad shape. I won't give Florida State a Turd of the Week award either. They don't deserve it either. They're much like my Gamecocks. They've been beat up enough already. All right, well, that concludes this little recap of my picks against the spread for week number 11. Week number 12 will be coming up some point in the next couple of days. Got some decent games coming up this week. I guess the big game of the week is, and who'd have thought this when the season started, Ohio State and Indiana. Yeah, that's going to be a top 10 matchup. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for the rest of them either. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it. Peace, and I'm out. Go Gamecocks. Find the right guy. Spurs up to my toes up. Woo! It's a new day to be a big old cock.